I mean, what happens when you put a dozen 20-somethings in a 12,000 square foot mansion with unlimited alcohol and absolutely zero emotional intelligence?
Oh, complete and utter societal collapse, obviously.
Literally. Today, we are examining the social warfare of Calabasas. Because, babes, I am sorry, but a panoramic view of Hollywood from a rooftop pool is absolutely, under no circumstances, an excuse to break the girl code.
It's the sheer audacity for me, really. The absolute lack of boundaries disguised as, like, a summer glow-up.
It is sick. Babes, welcome back. We love you. We see you. And, babes, we are so glad to have you here for this absolute mess.
Truly. And honestly, we have to say, we have been loving hearing from all our babes lately.
Gosh, yes.
We seriously appreciate every DM, comment, message, and just every piece of absolute chaos you send us.
The Snark Squad has been showing up and showing out this week. Like, you guys are living lives that belong on Bravo.
They really do, which means we need to get into some shady, snarky, or stupid submissions before we even touch Calabasas.
Yes. Okay, we have 3 listener-submitted confessions, and Bestie, I need your analytical brain for this. Are you ready?
My gavel is raised. Give me the facts.
Okay, confession number 1. Quote, I was out at a bar last weekend, and I noticed my best friend's boyfriend sitting in a booth with his female coworker.
Oh, no.
Wait, it gets worse. Quote, they were looking entirely too cozy, like leaning in, touching arms, the whole 9 yards. I panicked.
Naturally.
Quote, instead of confronting him, I took a selfie with my drink, made sure they were clearly visible in the background, and posted it to my Instagram story.
A tactical strike.
Quote, I let my best friend organically discover it. I played dumb and said it was an accident. Was I shady? End quote.
Shady. 100% shady.
Wait, really? Oh my God, my heart is pounding just reading the mechanics of this. I feel so bad for her anxiety.
Anxiety, please. She is a strategic mastermind operating at the highest level of plausible deniability.
But being caught in the crossfire of someone else's infidelity is socially terrifying. You just freeze.
You don't accidentally frame a selfie like an Oscar-winning cinematographer. Let's not pretend this was an accident.
Well, yeah, obviously she knew what she was doing.
Exactly. She calculated the depth of field, she checked the ambient lighting, she positioned her cocktail to draw the eye directly to his guilt. It is sneaky, it is manipulative, and it outsources the confrontation to an algorithm.
I have to push back on this. What about self-preservation?
Self-preservation.
Yes, she is clearly non-confrontational.
Yeah.
She wanted her best friends to have the data, but she didn't want to be the messenger who gets, like, executed.
That is the literal definition of passive aggression.
But the shoot the messenger reflex is real. People get so mad at the person who tells them. She preserved her own position in the friendship while anonymously dropping the evidence into the public square.
If we are examining the sociology of true friendship, loyalty requires physical intervention.
You think she should have gone over there?
Obviously. If you see my partner engaging in inappropriate micro-cheating like that hyper-intimate arm-touching, you don't curate a social media post.
I would literally die of awkwardness.
You march over there, you break the physical boundary of that booth, and you drag him out. What if the Instagram story expired before the best friend logged on?
Oh, true. Or the algorithm just buried it.
Exactly. It's shady because she used the internet as a human shield.
Okay, that is a fair analysis.
Uh.
I validate the panic, but yeah, it's shady. Let's move to the second one.
Let's hope this one has better operational security.
Oh, you are gonna hate this one. Confession number 2. Quote, I was invited to my cousin's baby shower last Sunday. It was going to be excruciatingly boring, full of pastel colors and diaper games.
Which is entirely factual. Baby showers are hostage situations.
Right. Quote, so I texted her a picture of a flat tire I found on Google Images and said I was stranded.
Oh, amateur hour.
Quote, an hour later, I completely forgot about the lie and posted a boomerang of my bottomless mimosas at brunch to my main grid. My whole family saw it. My mom called me yelling. End quote.
Stupid. Astronomically, undeniably stupid.
Wait. I respect the visceral human need to escape a baby shower.
I fully support the evasion of the baby shower. The catering is always terrible. But the execution.
You cannot blame an independent adult for requiring bottomless mimosas instead of smelling melted chocolate out of a newborn's diaper.
I am not blaming her for the brunch. I am blaming her for a complete failure of digital footprint awareness.
I mean, forgetting you lied is pretty bad.
If you are going to construct a high-level lie to manipulate your family, you have to commit to the operational security of that lie. You have to go dark.
Living a dual life is hard.
The cognitive dissonance required to fake a vehicular emergency and then post a boomerang clinking glasses at a trendy spot. It shows a complete lack of object permanence regarding the internet.
I know you were right, but my own toxic trait is heavily relating to this.
Oh, please tell me you haven't done this.
Bestie, after 2 peach bellinis, my frontal lobe shuts down, and I genuinely believe I'm invisible.
This explains so much about you.
Listen, years ago, I once told a guy on a dating app that I was out of the country in London for 2 weeks just to avoid a Tuesday coffee date.
That is an aggressive lie for a Tuesday.
Right. And the very next day, I checked into my local Target on Foursquare.
On Foursquare! Oh my God, the ancient texts.
I know, he literally texted me, didn't realize London had a Target. I wanted to evaporate.
Exactly. Stupidity leaves a trail. Don't insult our collective intelligence with the Google image search of a flat tire.
Okay, valid. Let's look at the third one. This one is my favorite.
Give it to me.
Quote, I have the most toxic manager in the world who constantly tries to throw me under the bus in front of the executives.
Yeah.
Last week, she tried to claim I never sent her a critical report.
Typical middle management gaslighting.
Wait, so I replied to her, CC'd the entire department, including the VP, wrote, per my last email, and attached the original email with the timestamp highlighted in neon red, end quote.
Snarky. Absolutely snarky. That belongs in the Louvre.
I literally gasped when I read the submission.
Oh.
The neon red highlight.
This is the weaponization of corporate bureaucracy at its absolute finest.
The strategic CCing of the executive leadership. This is corporate warfare.
She didn't just defend herself. She fundamentally dismantled her manager's credibility in the public square, the inbox.
There is literally nothing more lethal in the modern English language than phrase, per my last email.
It is the white-collar equivalent of drawing a broadsword. When you add the neon red highlight, you are establishing a visual hierarchy of competence.
It truly is. Because what is the manager going to say to human resources? She used a hostile font color.
Exactly. You cannot write someone up for their choice of highlighter. It is flawless execution.
Whoever submitted that, you are an absolute tactical genius. And honestly, analyzing all this deception requires a coping mechanism.
Thank God, because I require something that tastes like a childhood memory but acts like adult anesthesia.
Yes. Snark Squad, the frozen peach spiked Moscato slushies are absolutely on deck tonight.
There is a fascinating psychology behind the frozen drink. It automatically improves your baseline mood.
It really does. It's the adult equivalent of a Slurpee.
It instantly transports you back to like a 7-Eleven when you're 12, except now it lowers your inhibitions and makes you want to text your ex.
Which is such a bad idea, but it feels so right in the moment.
A catastrophic emotional decision. But you hold a slushie and you are visually signaling joy. You are unbothered.
See, we have to talk about frozen wine, though. Is it classy or is it chaotic?
It is walking a razor-thin line.
I think the flavor profile dictates the class level. Peach anything automatically feels expensive.
Does it?
Yes. It feels luxurious. If I tell you I am drinking a frozen strawberry daiquiri, you assume I am at a sticky dive bar.
Next to a highway. Very that.
Exactly. But if I say I'm drinking a frozen peach Moscato, you assume I am lounging on a yacht off the coast of Capri.
It might sound affluent, but it is a masterclass in deception.
How so?
Because it is dangerous. It tastes like a melted Jolly Rancher. You consume it rapidly through a straw, and then 30 minutes later, your motor functions have unionized and gone on strike.
It is so true. It hits you like a freight train. It's pure chaotic energy in a pastel aesthetic.
Which perfectly mirrors the exact reality television energy we are about to break down.
Oh my God, yes. Take a sip of whatever chaotic beverage you have, Snark Squad, because we need everyone to send in their best frenemy stories.
Please do, because we need the data.
Because, babes.
Yeah.
Bestie, you have to tell them. Your frenemy reached out earlier today.
I will gladly submit this for our psychological review. I am sitting at my desk entirely at peace with my environment, and my phone illuminates. It is a message from an individual I have not engaged with in over 3 years.
3 years. A classic, undeniable frenemy.
The bridge was not merely burned, it was surgically detonated, and the ashes were scattered.
And what did the screen say? Tell them.
The most manipulative, unprompted phrase in the English language. Hey, hope you're doing well.
No, absolutely not. I am having a visceral physical reaction to this.
It is a calculated act of psychological warfare.
What possesses a human being to do this?
The brilliance of it lies in its plausible deniability. It requires zero vulnerability on their part.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Because if you ignore it, you look like the villain.
Exactly. I become the petty, unhealed individual holding on to a 3-year grudge.
But if you reply, you open the door.
I validate their intrusion. I open the heavily guarded door for whatever emotional vampire agenda they have scheduled for a random Tuesday.
This is exactly why frenemies are infinitely worse than actual enemies.
Elaborate on that.
With an enemy, the boundaries are explicit. If we cross paths in the grocery store, we simply ignore each other. We hate each other, it's fine.
The hostility is mutually agreed upon.
Exactly. But a frenemy, the betrayal is intimate. They have access to your vulnerabilities, your secrets. They studied your playbook while pretending to be on your team.
The proximity makes the betrayal worse.
Yes. You do not owe anyone access to your current peace just because they suddenly feel nostalgic. You must block. You must delete.
You always immediately escalate to the nuclear option.
Because the audacity is triggering.
But if we look at it analytically, it is simply a power play. Reaching out is a data-gathering mission. They're testing the temperature of my boundaries.
So what is the psychological dilemma here?
If I reply, am I demonstrating evolved emotional maturity and forgiveness? Or am I demonstrating a profound lack of self-preservation by reopening a toxic ecosystem?
It is the lack of self-preservation. Forgiveness does not require an external reconciliation.
That is actually a very valid point.
You can forgive someone while maintaining a 500-mile physical radius away from them. Replying is handing them the key to a house they already robbed.
Well, you will be happy to know I left the message on read.
Good. The digital read receipt is so much louder than words.
But speaking of toxic social dynamics, manipulated boundaries, and people who love to reopen doors they absolutely shouldn't.
Oh my God, yes. Transition us.
We need to talk about Suede, Nicole, and the absolute mess of Calabasas Confidential, episodes 5 and 6.
I have been vibrating at a high frequency all week waiting to unpack this.
If there was ever a televised masterclass in the anatomy of a frenemy, we just witnessed it.
This show is a slow-motion car crash into a designer dumpster fire, and I am entirely captivated. I am so emotionally invested.
Now, it is interesting that you are clinging to it so passionately because if you look at the broader cultural reaction, the audience is actively rejecting the premise.
Wait, really? The internet is turning on them.
Turning implies they were ever on their side. I did some reading on the Reddit forums today, and the consensus is overwhelmingly hostile.
What are they saying?
Viewers are experiencing a visceral rejection. People are reporting that they are tapping out 5 to 15 minutes into the episodes.
No way. They can't even get through half an episode.
One user literally stated they couldn't endure more than 5 minutes. Another abandoned ship at the 15-minute mark, specifically citing the vocal fry.
Okay, the vocal fry is a legitimate issue. It is so aggressive.
They are critiquing the aggressive entitlement, the arrested development of the cast.
Yeah.
We are watching 20-somethings recycle high school drama.
But the vocal fry is like, they all went to a dialect coach to learn how to speak exclusively from the back of their vocal cords. It's an acquired status symbol.
My absolute favorite piece of data came from a Redditor who documented that they had to literally self-medicate, smoke a blunt, and perform household chores just to tolerate the audio.
I am screaming. That is so funny.
They said the specific pitch and frequencies the women use was causing actual distress. It is like listening to a pod of dolphins aggressively debate the ownership of a Gucci bag.
That is the most accurate description. But look, I will not defend their competence. They act like unsupervised children who accidentally inherited trust funds.
Precisely.
But from a viewer's perspective, that is the exact flavor of trashy escapism my brain needs right now.
You enjoy the artificially manufactured warfare.
I genuinely do. It soothes my nervous system to know my problems are real, while theirs are entirely invented over like a text message.
Well, prepare to have your nervous system activated because we must deconstruct the Suede, Nicole, and Dylan triangle of delusion.
I am already elevating my volume. Dylan's so-called apology tour.
It is a terrifying study in manipulation.
How is this single man orchestrating the emotional collapse of an entire friend group?
Because they allow it.
He is parading around Calabasas, weaponizing this artificially constructed country boy charm, and Suede is falling for it.
She is consuming the narrative without chewing.
Suede, the woman who literally spearheaded the anti-Dylan campaign. She stood on camera and said, "F that man," and now she is defending him.
To understand the crime, we must map the timeline.
Please break it down.
Act 1. Suede is vehemently anti-Dylan. She operates as the protective shield for her friend, Jemma, who Dylan systematically manipulated and discarded.
Right. She was ride or die for Jemma.
Act 2. Suede goes entirely behind Jemma's back, breaches the friend group perimeter, and begins dating Dylan.
Which is wild.
Act 3. Suddenly, Dylan is reframed as a misunderstood martyr, and Suede is his fiercest advocate. She executed a complete 180 simply because the shiny object was pointed at her.
The psychological whiplash is stunning. And then we get the confrontation at Nicole's apartment.
The baseline tension was already suffocating.
And they attempt to resolve it by going to the Cele Wellness Spa in Westlake Village for a sound bath.
As if Tibetan singing bowls can recalibrate a fundamental betrayal.
Right. During this healing session, Suede accuses Nicole of leaking the rumors about her date with Dylan. Nicole.
We need to properly classify Nicole's role here. Usually, Nicole functions as the messy middleman.
She is the central information hub. People feed her gossip, and she redistributes it.
Exactly. Usually, she is entirely culpable. But in this specific instance, Nicole is innocent.
She actually didn't do it.
Dylan is executing a classic isolation tactic. He is throwing Nicole under the bus, feeding Suede false narratives to sever Suede's ties to her support system.
If he isolates Suede, he controls Suede's reality.
And Suede is a willing participant in her own isolation. She is choosing the validation of a man she has known for 2 minutes over a long-term friend.
She demanded an apology from Nicole, completely ignoring the fact that she is the one betraying Jemma.
And then, the piece de resistance. The rodeo.
Oh my God, the rodeo. They abandon Rodeo Drive for a literal rodeo, and Dylan arrives, flaunting a massive hickey on his neck.
Hickey, as a grown man, on national television.
I cannot with the hickey.
It was a calculated deployment of a prop. He fully understood the camera crews and the narrative implications.
But the absolute psychological twist of the century is that Suede believes the hickey is hers.
She believes she is the architect of this secret.
She feels so special. And the ultimate reality check drops. The hickey does not belong to Suede.
The karmic rebalancing is beautiful.
I had to literally pause the television, stand up, and pace my living room to process the secondhand embarrassment.
Suede stepped directly over Jemma's emotional wreckage to secure Dylan and her reward. Discovering Dylan went on a date with Emily's, or Alexi's, whatever, best friend.
Suede thought she was the exception to the rule book.
She is now discovering she is merely another statistic in his rotation.
It perfectly illustrates the rule of toxic dating. How you acquire them is exactly how you will lose them.
If his moral compass is broken enough to snake his ex's inner circle, he will inevitably snake you.
Watching Suede hyperventilate, crying about being done dirty, I felt entirely devoid of empathy.
Empathy requires a victim.
I was screaming at the television. Jemma provided the case study. The red flags were smothering you.
You cannot logically feel sympathy for someone who intentionally drives their vehicle into an open ditch.
It's so true. But as fascinating as Suede's emotional collapse is, we have to pivot.
Yes, because while Suede is weaponizing tears, Emily is weaponizing physical space poolside.
The Emily, Ben, and Emma dynamic is insane. Let's start at the gym.
Emily's soliloquy about experiencing the ick regarding the local dating pool.
She specifically brings up that smoldering, highly produced video that Hersey sent her, claiming it deactivated her attraction to men entirely.
Which, from a sociological standpoint, was the single most astute observation made in the history of reality TV.
It was so funny.
Emily stated, "Men used to go to war, now they do fit checks." I paused the playback and gave her a standing ovation.
It is a brilliant critique of modern masculinity.
It is fundamentally difficult to feel an evolutionary sense of protection from a male partner who requires a ring light to capture his outfit.
Exactly, but she is using this critique as virtue signaling. She pretends she is operating on a higher detached frequency.
And then the environment shifts to the Godfrey Hotel Hollywood.
The 12,000 square foot rooftop lounge. The geography here is critical. The cabanas, the panoramic views, the sheer concentration of wealth.
Emily arrives having executed a massive visual glow-up. She optimized her angles and her styling.
She commands the attention of the entire rooftop. And what does she do? She engages in a highly aggressive, deeply public make-out session with Ben Favati right in the center of the party.
In front of the cameras, the alumni, and most egregiously, directly in the line of sight of Alexi and Emma.
Two women who had explicitly established their romantic interest in Ben.
It is fundamentally, structurally grimy behavior.
That really is.
Emma and Alexi had established the perimeter. They had communicated dibs.
And Emma, who constantly talks about her high emotional intelligence, intercepts Emily. She tells her she would have preferred if Emily checked in first.
And Emily responds with the vacant stare of an apex predator who does not care about the prey.
Okay, we need to debate this. Because I am going to play devil's advocate for a second.
Proceed carefully.
Is it actually a boundary violation, or is it a free market economy? Ben is an autonomous human being.
He is.
Nobody is exclusively dating him. Emma and Alexis just expressed an abstract attraction. You can't call dibs on a man like he's the last life raft on the Titanic.
But they exist within a hyper-proximate social group.
If Emily has spontaneous chemistry with Ben, why does she need to file a formal request to kiss him?
The dib system is a primitive, deeply necessary peacekeeping treaty. Friendship requires transparency.
I mean, true.
If you possess the data that your two close allies are plotting to engage with a specific target, you do not execute a stealth bombing run in the center of the venue and feign ignorance.
Well, Ben is moving to New York anyway, so this is all functionally useless. It's going to crash and burn in 30 days.
Without question, the half-life of that relationship is incredibly short.
Let's transition from performative trauma to actual deep-rooted psychological trauma. Preston's escape to Miami.
Yes. Preston has to physically remove himself from Calabasas just to regulate his nervous system, flying to Florida to visit his mother.
And his mother is Larsa Pippen from The Real Housewives of Miami.
It is the Bravo crossover event that no one requested, but it provides crucial context.
It explains so much about his behavior. I felt profound empathy for Preston here.
A narrative exposes the reality of his upbringing.
He was raised during the highly public, messy divorce of Larsa and Scottie Pippen. And rappers were making multi-platinum tracks about his mom's dating life while he was a teenager.
He was drafted into the public spotlight without his consent. He requires intense, sustained psychological intervention.
Even Larsa asked him if he needed therapy. I was screaming, yes, fund it immediately.
Because when you observe his relationship with Alexei, you see the manifestation of that chaos. He is profoundly emotionally avoidant.
He is entirely incapable of articulating feelings. When Alexei tries to have a deep conversation, his defense mechanism activates, he shuts down, and he bakes.
He resorts to culinary displacement activities. He bakes focaccia for the group.
The baking is so absurd.
The visual juxtaposition is high camp. He drives a massive brutalist Cybertruck, which is literal emotional armor. He refuses to define his relationship with Alexei, who is surviving on breadcrumbs. And his method of processing this pressure is to cultivate artisanal sourdough.
He seeks absolute control over yeast because he has zero control over his emotions.
That is exactly it.
Alexei is begging for validation with her eyes, and his response is, I utilize a 48-hour cold ferment on this dough.
He is substituting carbohydrates for communication.
Men will literally master the biochemistry of artisan baking before they go to therapy. It is an epidemic.
It truly is. But the producers did give us some palate-cleansing side quests. Jemma's narrative arc, for instance.
Yes, Jemma dropping her seasons-long heartbreak over Dylan and going on dates with Nolan.
You could visibly see her cortisol levels drop on the screen.
She looks lighter. She is glowing.
It is the classic friends to lovers trope, which is the most psychologically stable narrative. They have mutual respect, and the sexual chemistry is obvious.
It is a deeply refreshing contrast to the feral cats swapping spit in the rest of the cast.
Very that. And speaking of healthy reality checks, we must discuss Sterling and his father in Alaska.
That scene was jarringly grounded.
It felt like a documentary film crew accidentally wandered onto the set. Sterling's dad is interrogating him, asking practical questions about how a modeling gig in LA is going to pay the bills.
I resonated with that on a cellular level.
Yeah.
Calabasas operates on this illusion of infinite wealth.
Everyone desires the title of model or influencer.
But the brutal economic reality of LA is that the rent is due on the first of the month, no matter your follower count.
The industry extracts a percentage of your income. You have to fund your own healthcare.
You might get one big campaign, or you might starve for 6 months. I applaud them for leaving that scene in. It punctured the illusion.
It was a vital injection of pragmatism, which is needed to balance out the blatantly orchestrated filler scenes.
Oh my goodness, the product placement, the shopping sequences.
Let us deconstruct Alexei and Rain Michaels at Lumber, plus Linen in Agora Hills.
First of all, Rain is Bret Michaels' daughter, so add nepotism to the mix.
Alexei performs a sweeping gaze of the room and states, "This is the most used store ever."
I rolled my eyes so hard. It is a literal commercial embedded into the episode.
The characters are functioning as walking billboards. It felt entirely scripted.
Just like Kimura and Jody Wood strategically positioned at the La La Land coffee shop.
Merely to act as an exposition dump regarding the poolside drama.
Right, they just sit there and gossip.
But strategically, they occupy the pinnacle of reality television positioning. They are the Greek chorus.
Consuming iced matcha, safely insulated from the blast radius, passing judgment. That is the only role I would want.
It is the ultimate position of power, which perfectly segues into our analytical synthesis.
Segment 1. The Frenemy Hall of Fame.
Let's determine who represents the most dangerous archetype of modern friendship. Suede, Nicole, or Emily?
I am eager to hear your academic defense. Who are you picking?
The data clearly points to Nicole.
Really?
Yes. She is the messy middleman. She will smile warmly, pour you expensive wine, and simulate empathy while extracting your secrets.
Oh, she is a data miner.
Once she acquires the intelligence, she leaks it under the guise of concern. She says, "I'm only sharing this because I'm worried about her mental health."
Which is a complete lie.
She thrives on manufacturing chaos from a safe distance. That covert manipulation makes her the most lethal frenemy.
See, I fundamentally reject that. I am nominating Emily as the ultimate apex predator.
Defend your thesis.
Emily is the friend who actively lowers your defenses. She complains about how men give her the ick, recruiting you into a safe, anti-men sisterhood.
Lulling you into a false sense of security.
Exactly. But the microsecond you admit an attraction to a man, she physically corners him on a 12,000 square foot rooftop and makes out with him.
She is opportunistic, I will give you that.
She is the archetype who would absolutely start a secondary group chat specifically to exclude you from a birthday dinner.
The secondary group chat is a felony-level offense. However, you are overlooking Suede.
Okay, let's look at Suede.
If the metric is who we trust the absolute least, it is Suede. She completely dissolves her core identity the moment she is presented with male validation.
Oh, it's so true.
She looked at a long-term friendship with Jemma, saw Jemma grieving a toxic man, and concluded, well, his manipulation doesn't apply to me, and jumped in his car. You are incredibly accurate. There is no social dynamic more dangerous than someone who uses their friends as stepping stones for male attention.
You cannot negotiate with that delusion. Suede wins. She is inducted into the Hall of Fame because she will enthusiastically sell you out for a guy who distributes hickeys like party favors.
Let us analyze the next category, Segment 2, the Main Character Energy Award.
Who completely dominated the episodes? Who knew cameras were rolling and acted accordingly?
I submit this name with profound reluctance and disgust, but the objective answer is Dylan.
No, absolutely not. I reject him.
My emotional response aligns with yours, but you cannot ignore the mechanics of his strategy.
He's just a typical manipulator.
His apology tour, the deployment of gaslighting, the calculated baiting of the cast using a mystery hickey at a rodeo. He single-handedly commanded the plot.
I mean, I guess.
Every storyline orbited Dylan, Suede's tears, caused by Dylan, Nicole's defensive posturing, orchestrated by Dylan. He played the villain with chilling precision.
I am furious that your logic is impenetrable, but I am countering with Emily.
Make your case.
The main character energy was radiating off her. Her visual glow-up was an assertion of dominance. She demanded the visual hierarchy shift.
It was a very aggressive entrance.
And the utter disregard for Emma and Alexi's feelings. She poured gasoline on the set and handed the producers a match. She is the ultimate scene stealer.
The brazenness of kissing Ben while Emma is hyperventilating in the periphery is iconic reality TV DNA.
Exactly. Dylan is executing a predictable playbook. Emily is introducing a fresh strain of social warfare.
The data forces us to declare a messy tie. They both carried episodes 5 and 6.
A messy tie it is. Which brings us to segment 3, the delusion scale.
We need to assign a numerical value from 1 to 10 to the biggest delusions this week.
You initiate the scoring.
Suede's aggressive defense of Dylan. I'm assigning this a solid 10 out of 10.
A 10, wow.
She ignored the warning signs she had previously documented. She prioritized a known manipulator over a long-term friendship with Nicole.
And she thought she cured a player.
Exactly. The arrival of the hickey shattered it, but the build-up, a clinical 10 out of 10.
I cannot argue with the math. Okay, my turn. I am evaluating Emily's victim mentality, and I am scoring it an 8 out of 10.
An 8. Defend it.
The delusion lies in her performative exhaustion. She complains that dating is grueling and cringy, yet she is the primary architect of the war zone.
Complaining about the drama while actively generating it.
Exactly. You lose the right to complain when you are the one kissing the guy your friends claimed.
Your analysis is flawless. She desires the aesthetic of the chill girl while operating as the most chaotic variable.
All right, what is your final evaluation?
Preston's emotional avoidance. I am scoring him a 6 out of 10.
A 6. That feels entirely too generous given the sourdough of it all.
Let me justify the 6. I believe a fraction of his consciousness is aware that his behavior is flawed due to childhood trauma. He is not entirely blind.
Okay, that's fair.
However, the delusion lies in his coping mechanism. You cannot hand a romantic partner a freshly baked loaf of pumpernickel and expect it to translate as emotional intimacy.
I am genuinely crying with laughter. I love you. Please accept this baguette.
It is the peak of male delusion, mastering yeast fermentation to avoid looking inward.
It is a tragedy. Finally, segment 4, the Snark Squad survival test.
The ultimate thought experiment.
Listeners, imagine you are legally forced to spend a 4-day weekend in a Calabasas Airbnb with this exact cast.
The doors are locked.
Who are you rooming with?
Oh, I mean, it has to be Jemma.
I am immediately securing Jemma. She is the only viable option. She is drama-free, glowing, and chilling with Nolan.
We would do face masks and establish a firm 10 p.m. lights out policy?
Exactly. Who are we actively avoiding?
I am barricading my door to block Dylan. I refuse to become collateral damage in his situationships.
Dylan must be avoided at all costs. If you make eye contact, you will end up weeping in a dusty rodeo.
Who are we gossiping with?
Oh, we pull up a chair with Kimura and Jody Woods at La La Land Coffee.
We embed ourselves with the Greek chorus and passively watch the infrastructure collapse. Elite strategy.
But who would drive us to a psychological break first? Who makes us insane?
Oh, Emma. Emma without hesitation.
Yes. If I am trapped with her and have to listen to one more speech about her high emotional intelligence, I will physically dismantle the drywall to escape.
It is a universal truth that individuals who constantly announce their emotional intelligence possess the least of it.
It's like loudly declaring your own humility. It negates its existence.
Being trapped with her weaponized therapy speak would drive me to fake a flat tire using a Google image search just to initiate an extraction.
Oh my God, the full circle completion of the episode. We would fake the tire, post the bottomless mimosa boomerang, and accept our stupidity.
It is the only logical conclusion.
Babes, I feel like I just defended a doctoral thesis. Analyzing this chaos with you is the only therapy I need.
We have survived another week of Calabasas-induced psychological warfare.
We absolutely have. Snark Squad, thank you for hanging out over slushies and surviving this unhinged reality TV landscape with us.
And we require your data to complete our research.
Yeah.
Please go to the comments right now and sound off on 4 specific questions.
Number 1. Which listener confession was the messiest? The IG story, the flat tire, or the CC'd email?
Number 2. Have you ever had a frenemy reach out with the "hope you're doing well" text, and how did you handle it?
Number 3. Are frozen wine slushies classy or chaotic?
And number 4. Which cast member from Calabasas Confidential would you trust the least to hold your drink at a party?
I am eagerly awaiting the data. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this chat with your messiest bestie.
But before we go, a final provocative thought. Reality TV only functions because it reflects our own behavior.
That's true.
So ask yourself, who is the Dylan in your own social circle that everyone continuously forgives despite the data? And more importantly, are you secretly the Emily?
Oh, that is chilling. Stay shady,
Stay messy.
and we will see you on the Snark side.